All right, it's time for the top 10 cyber vulnerability exploits. This is a list comprised from all different industry articles and whatnot. This is my list, but it's also obviously very common to have different types of things. But this is our top 10 for today. Number 10 is poor endpoint detection and response. Your endpoint, actually most companies contend you are as secure as your weakest link, and your endpoints usually are sometimes your weakest link. Number 9 is failure to detect or block phishing attempts. Phishing has become a well-known attempt method. It has come and gone as a possible threat, but again, people still click on bait mail and phishing attempts, and they still get compromised, and so it still comes up in the top 10. Number 8, cloud services that are unprotected. One of the biggest myths that people have, especially in the corporate environment, is I just put my stuff on a public cloud that has good reputation, whether it's Amazon or Microsoft or Google or whatnot. You think that just because you put your workload or virtual machines into the cloud, you're secure. That is just the biggest myth. And essentially what you're doing is you're putting your assets in a managed environment, and it's up to you to secure that asset. And so again, that meets the top 10 list because of the misconception that being on a public cloud is making you more secure. Number 7 is strong password policies. Goes without saying, policy management and good password policy management is cornerstone of keeping your network and your identity secure. Actually, it is a part of a lot of compliance requirements, whether it's HIPAA, GLBA, whatnot. So having good policy compliance is a huge element. So that comes in number 7. Number 6, remote services such as VPNs lack sufficient controls. I love VPNs. VPN has probably been around for decades. The problem with VPNs is once you open up that pipe, you're opening up that pipe to your whole organization. So creating a VPN pipe that is not secured or is compromised, you're literally letting the thieves into your corporate network and have access to all of your resources. So that comes in at number 6. Number 5, using vendor supplied default configuration. I kind of joke at this because just as a test, as a hacking test, you could take there's devices that will actually look and hack into Wi-Fi networks, and you could drive around the neighborhood and actually type in all the default passwords that come with the manufacturers that no one's changed. And at one point, I can probably hack into half of the homes in my vicinity and neighborhood. Most people are lazy in not securing their environment and changing the passwords that have come with securing both your home and sometimes, unfortunately, in your corporate environment. That's number 5. Number 4, software is not up to date. Believe it or not, one of the areas that hackers monitor the most is patches and bug fixes that come online. Whenever there's a new patch that's coming because there's a discovery of a bug, guess what? The hackers monitor that because that's the first thing they go after, because they know that not everybody's going to patch and update the bug. So they only need to find companies that have been delayed or haven't upgraded and patched their system, and they're able to take advantage of that hole or the infiltration point. That was number 4. Number 3 is incorrectly applied privileges or permissions. Privilege escalation, or giving your vendor accounts or third-party software super admin privileges when they don't need to. Over privileges of account privileges is usually a huge element of breach, because that's what hackers will look at, being able to attack third-party software that has too much privilege and being able to use that to leverage into other super admin type level privileges. So that comes in at number 2. Number 3. Number 2 is multi-factor authentication is not enforced. MFA is very important, especially when passwords are being broken, when username and password accounts are being sold on the dark web. A lot of times implementing an MFA solution is the best way to protect against password theft and identity theft. Number 1, and we'll go back to this later on as well, is open ports and misconfigured services. Open ports is what most people assume is something you have to live with, because in order for computers to talk to each other, in order for a client machine to talk to a server resource or an application, you have to have open ports. Well, there's a lot of methods to try to hide ports, to be able to restrict access to open ports as well. But it's the method that hackers use the most to find targeted machines to go after. And so when you have open ports that are easily easily discoverable, that gives you the footprint for hackers to come in. So that's the number one in our top 10 of cybersecurity exploits, and the top 10 list for today. Come back next time in 3-6 months maybe. All of that could change because hackers love to modify the way they attack.